Hey, it is Holden and TitleTown looking so beautiful with his new light setup and his gorgeous eyebrows and just he's light. And it's so awesome to see you, Title. We got Thrive Fantasy today. It's our Thrive Fantasy show, and you have not signed up. If you have not signed up, make sure you do it already. Use the code RUNPURE. You will get up to a $50 matching deposit bonus. You hear me? RUNPURE is the code. Title. Today, we are going to go through the Thrive Fantasy $25 Monday Night Football contest, $5,000 in prizes, and it's 222 entries. I'm actually really looking forward to this game tonight. You know who I'm looking forward to seeing the most is Chris Carson, and we'll get to his props in a minute. I just want to get your thoughts on Carson's matchup against this Eagles run D tonight.
Yeah, so I actually think Carson's matchup's pretty tough, and Eagles are good up front. I mean, we know it's a pretty tough matchup up front, but I think the Seattle's going to try and establish the run a little more than they have lately. They've been slinging it a lot, and it just became one-dimensional, and that was a lot because Carson was out. And I think they're going to try and mix Carson back in, so I think the volume will be there, but he's going against a stingy defense, and the props are priced appropriately, especially on Thrive. Yeah. I have a guy in mind that we'll get to that I really love, like I love a lot of weeks, but it's definitely an interesting game. It's going to be a really fun game, and I see people on the Eagles +8 and stuff around the industry a little bit, so it's definitely an interesting game with a interesting total. So I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to tell everybody about our big special going on that expires today. If you have not signed up for Run Pure Sports, runpuresports.com, we got the code Turkey50, the word turkey, and then the number's 50, and it's your last day to get 50% off your first payment. 50% off your first payment, runpuresports.com. And make sure you use the code Turkey50. Let's get into this, buddy. We'll start with the Russell Wilson props. 284.5 total passing yards and then 25.5 completions. We've been saying for years that let Russ cook. And I'm telling you what we saw. He misses his running game. He's still going to throw the ball a lot, but they're going to run the ball a bit more than they have been doing, Title. And the passing yards I'm not too concerned about. Do you think he throws the ball 26 times tonight?
Yeah, so I think you hit it right on the head because Russell Wilson's going to get his. He's going to take shots downfield to Lockett and Metcalf, but it's going to be set up more with the running game and with the play action, which is what we're used to Seattle seeing, and it's not going to be as much 4 wide receiver spread and stuff like that. So I think the yards, I still like over 284.5. It's priced pretty appropriately, so it's not like a ton of value, but I still think that they're going to air it out. They're going to get it to their best players on the outside. So I like the over with 95 points. But for the completions at 25.5, I think you're right on. Like that number seems a little high. It seems priced appropriately, but it seems a little high. Yeah, it seems higher than what I want to touch because I don't want the under, but I don't want the over either. So let's take a pass on that one.
Yeah, and then there's our boy Chris Carson. So basically, he's going to average 3 yards per carry. Does he get his 17 carries to get over that? It's even points, 100. And then does he get in the end zone? And that's a big question too. I kind of feel like since he's back that they might actually use him a little bit to run into the end zone, to get himself a touchdown there. I don't mind the value at 115, but before I clock it, I want to get your thoughts on both Carson props.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this before the show at all, so whoever's listening, but I agree with you on both of them. Again, I think there's more value with the touchdowns because of plus 115 I see him at, or what he's around. That's like plus 140 for Thrive points because 115 is a lot and one of the most we can get. So I think they're going to, if they get in the goal line, they're going to try and pound it. There's a lot of opportunity to move the ball in the defense, but I'm not really sold on the yards at 50.5 because like we said, good defense. It could be a tough game. Could be a 15 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown or two. So I say we pass on that and take the touchdowns like you said.
Yeah, I had a long conversation with a couple guys on the bet side, Run Pure bet side today, and sign up for them too. They've been amazing. And they're on Carson over. And I'm saying to myself, I don't know, man. I know they're going to give him the rock, but the one thing that Philadelphia does well is stop the run. DK Metcalf. I mean, basically, is DK Metcalf going to get 4 catches? Because if he gets 4 catches, he's hitting this and he's blowing through it. I don't like him getting 5 receptions. Okay. He's usually a 4 reception guy. He could be a 5 reception guy. I'm not sure they throw to him as much, but the 69.5 is what I'm looking at. 100 points each side. If you wanted to go under the receptions, you'd get 115. Where are you sitting on these two?
Yeah, so we're saying Carson, I'm not as high on his stuff. DK Metcalf's my guy. He's my favorite receiver on this slate. I mean, this guy is just a freak of nature. I'm going to be on him almost every week. Athleticism, talent, just a great football player is going to beat any matchup. And I mean, this prop is too low, 69.5. That could be one bombs. Open the game, 75-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf. I wouldn't be surprised. So let's hammer the over. And I agree with the catches. Like, he does go sometimes. Lockett gets the 12 catches and he has 4 for like 120 or something. And 85 points on the over just doesn't seem like enough for the receptions. And I don't want to take under 4.5 because I like him in this game. So I say we pass on the receptions and take the over for the 100 points.
Yeah, here's what I'm seeing as far as receiving yards for Metcalf. You can get him at 69.5 minus 150, or the rest of the props have him at 74.5 minus 105 minus 110. So 69.5 here just seems like it's just boom. Value. Let's go. We're getting even money there, and we'll fade the next one. Tyler Lockett, not on Tyler Lockett tonight. I'm always on DK Metcalf. I don't like the 73.5 yards or the scoring the touchdown, even at plus money. You may have a different opinion.
Yeah, so I'm on Metcalf more than Lockett on this matchup too, because Philly's good in the secondary too. Their defense is actually pretty good, but I'm buying in on the talent on Metcalf. Lockett, yeah, I'm not as high on that. And he has more yards. So I'm definitely passing on the yards, receiving yards prop. But for touchdowns, you get 110 on the juice. And if you look at sports books, he's minus 115 to get in the box. So that just screams value right there. I'm going to take the touchdowns. I know I'm not on Lockett as much either, but I mean, we could get the Russell Wilson over, the Metcalf over in yards, and then just say Lockett doesn't have a best game, but he falls in the end zone once. And we just won all those props, which correlate with each other. So that's the approach I'm taking: over touchdowns, under or passing on the yards.
Okay, let's do it. I'm with you. Well, I'll take the touchdown prop with you. Disley, Will Disley, 20.5 total receiving yards. Hollister's back there. I don't feel comfortable with it. As far as kicking field goals here, Jason Myers, does he get enough? Does he kick 1 field goal? Do they score 4 touchdowns? Does he kick 2 field goals and 1 extra point? Honestly, I'm not feeling great about Disley at all. I wouldn't mind going Jason Myers, but it's not a hard conviction play. You got anything on Disley or Myers?
I don't mind Disley for DFS purposes, but on Thrive with other props, just because he's so cheap. And I do think he is the better receiving tight end than Hollister. As far as Myers goes, I think we come back to that after we go through the Eagles props. And then if we need it, we can take the over, because I usually like kickers to go over 6.5 on offense. That's going to move the ball.
You're not worried about that. So that might be an ice pick or a later pick.
Yep.
Right. All right. Let's get into this, this Eagles side here. And our old buddy, Carson Wentz. We'll see if he's out there long enough tonight. But 255 total passing yards. We were talking on the bet side about the passing attempts being around 32.5. I know that the Seattle secondary is bad, but Carson Wentz isn't good either, even though he's getting healthy again, right? He's got Goddard. He's got Jeffrey. They need to use Jeffrey too. But, and Rager, who we'll get to. And then Wentz passing touchdowns, interceptions. I can't stand Wentz. I just don't like him. I'm fading him. Please have an opinion so we can hit a button here.
Carson Wentz sucks. I mean, he sucks. Big T, it's time to finally take that L on Carson Wentz. Give me the under on the passing yards at 255.5. For the touchdowns, interceptions, I don't know. I mean, maybe they get like Trubisky yesterday.
Let's just move on. Move on. We spent enough time on Carson Wentz. I'm going to get sick. All right. Miles Sanders, 81.5 total yards, rushing, receiving. We're getting plus money at 105. If he scores any touchdown, we're getting plus money at 120. So, I mean, just because the number's higher, we're getting value. I'm not sure about that, but I'll tell you this much. If you just dig in, you look at adjusted fantasy points and things like that. This is an average matchup, to say the least. I think Sanders is going to be heavily involved. 81.5 total yards, scoring a touchdown. Neither one of these bother me at all.
I like the over on both, and they correlate really well with each other.
Baby.
Especially we're down on Carson Wentz. I mean, Miles Sanders is definitely the most athletic, best football player in that offense, very explosive, even against tough matchups against Pittsburgh and the Ravens. I forget which team exactly, but he took like an 80-yard touchdown to the house. I mean, this guy's athletic. He can make explosive plays, and I think these numbers are a little too low. So let's hit the over on both.
Yeah, his prop at the books is 64.5 rushing yards. And then you throw in the receiving, it's between 17 and 21. You know, I actually might run to the book after this, besides for putting it in on Thrive. All right, does Jalen Reagor go off tonight? 4.5 receptions or 43.5 yards? And I want to throw in Travis Fulgham here at the same time. You know, to me, Reagor ahead of Fulgham. Fulgham, 51.5 receiving yards. Does he score a touchdown? I don't feel good about that. I'm actually feeling kind of nice about Jalen Reagor tonight, especially with the matchup. He's healthy now. I see Carson Wentz looking his way a little bit more, especially if they have to pass a lot. Listen, maybe he doesn't get his 256 yards if you're betting the over on Wentz, but even if it's under, my sense is that he looks for Reagor a little bit here in week number 12. On him or off him?
Yeah, no, I'm on Jalen Reagor. I think, explosive player. He's shown with Carson Wentz has shown to like him. He's been getting a lot of targets. He's a deep threat too. So his air yards have been good, just haven't really connected. And we got to hope Carson Wentz makes a throw once in a while, and it only could take one to get over 43.5. So let's hit that over. I know it's only 90 points, but I feel really safe with it. As far as the catches go, I don't have a lean. I think that's kind of priced appropriately. If anything, I mean, yeah, let's just take a pass. Fulgham yards, I don't have a lean there either. It's literally priced exactly right, I think. Don't even worry about that. Touchdown, since we do still need 2 spots, let's take the under Fulgham touchdowns. He's about plus 260, and 80 points I know isn't a ton, but it feels like pretty much a free square, and if he scores, he scores. So
well, I'm actually, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we just go Fulgham under. He's had 1 catch in each of his last 2 games. Now, he has been targeted 12 times, but I mean, Wentz is just not on the same page with him. I don't mind. I'm going to hit the under on this one, on the receiving yards, or actually on the receptions. That's what I think the receptions is where it is.
They don't. No, that's Jalen.
I'm hitting Fulgham. I'm hitting Fulgham. Sorry about that. Let's go under the yards. Boom. Let's go under 51.5 yards. Boston Scott, does he get enough work here to be relevant? Dallas Goedert. This is an interesting. Let me get your thoughts on Dallas Goedert. Nice matchup against Seattle, and might be the most targeted player on the Eagles any given week. Let me just go look back at last week here. Well, he's not going to be the most targeted. 6 targets each of the last 2 weeks, 4 catches, 5 catches. Probably the best matchup. Then Seattle's been a little better against the tight end this year, but I love Goddard tonight.
Yeah, I'm not as high in Goddard as you are. I think this is priced right. I see 40.5 with, I mean, yeah, probably over, but I only see 90 points. And I think it's closer than that. So you have a lean on it. Let's roll with you. If you like it a lot,
yeah, let's go over.
Let's take the over.
Yeah, let's take the over there. Anything for our ice picks today?
Yeah. We'll go Myers over on the
kicker. Okay.
Yep. And then we had, then I like that Disley over a little bit at 20.5 actually.
Okay. Good. Well, that's it. We came up with our 10 picks and our 2 ice picks. We're going Wilson over passing yards, Carson scoring a touchdown, DK 70 or more yards, Tyler Lockett to get into the end zone at plus 110. You heard the Disley and the Myers pick a second ago. Miles Sanders rushing and receiving 82 or more. Sanders scoring a touchdown in any way possible. Reagor over yards, Fulgham under yards, and Dallas Goedert over 40.5 receiving yards. Want to remind you that, Turkey 50. If you have not signed up at Run Pure Sports, you get 50% off your first payment. We also have the code Run Pure for Thrive Fantasy. So go to Thrive Fantasy if you haven't already played it. Check it out. Really fun things going on here. Run Pure for up to a $50 matching deposit. Title, I'll see you Wednesday night. So probably either late Wednesday night or early Thursday. The NFL spread with me, you, and Rubio's coming out. We got a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, I love doing those pods. We don't only talk about the week. We also talk little game theory, contest selection. Had a lot of people message and say that they really learn a lot from that pod. So it's free for anyone too. You can just check it out on Apple Music, and it's always fun to talk to you guys and talk some football.
Yep. Be on the lookout for our pod, the NFL spread. We drop in. I mean, they'll definitely be there Thursday morning.
Thursday
Okay.
morning, yeah.
Thanks a lot for Simon behind the scenes for making us look pretty. For Title, Holden, keep running pure.
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 Good luck, guys.